What is a dragon-wing begonia? What does a dragon-wing begonia look like? Begonia dragon wings is a beautiful flowering plant that I absolutely adore having in my garden. It's one of my favorites because of its stunning foliage and vibrant blooms. The leaves are glossy and angel wing shaped, with a rich green color that adds a touch of elegance to any space. The flowers come in various shades of red, pink, and white, and they have a delicate, waxy texture that is simply enchanting to behold. See more 2104 species in genus Begonia at monsteraholic.com. Where to buy dragon wing begonias? When it comes to purchasing dragon wing begonias, I usually start by checking out local nurseries and garden centers. I love being able to see the plants in person and hand-pick the healthiest ones for my garden. Additionally, online plant retailers often have a wide selection of dragon wing begonias available, making it convenient to order them from the comfort of my home. Can dragon wing begonias take full sun? Dragon wing begonias prefer partial shade to full shade, so I typically plant them in areas of my garden where they can get some morning sun but are protected from the intense afternoon heat. However, they can tolerate some sun exposure if provided with adequate moisture and protection from the hot afternoon sun. What to plant with dragon wing begonias? I find that dragon wing begonias pair beautifully with other shade-loving plants like impatiens, ferns, and hostas. Their lush foliage and colorful blooms create a lovely contrast and add visual interest to shady garden beds and containers. Are dragon wing begonias deer-resistant? Unfortunately, dragon wing begonias are not deer-resistant in my experience. I've had issues with deer nibbling on the leaves and flowers, especially if other food sources are scarce. To protect my plants, I use deer repellents and fencing to deter them from entering my garden. Are dragon wing begonias perennials? Dragon wing begonias are technically considered tender perennials, meaning they can survive year-round in warmer climates but may need protection from frost in colder regions. In my area, they are treated as annuals, but I've heard of gardeners successfully overwintering them indoors or in protected outdoor spaces. Are dragon wing begonias poisonous to dogs? As much as I love my furry companions, I have to be cautious because dragon wing begonias are indeed toxic to dogs if ingested. I make sure to keep them out of reach and monitor my pets when they're in the garden to prevent any accidents. Are dragon wing begonias tuberous? Dragon wing begonias are grown from fibrous roots rather than tubers, which means they don't go dormant like tuberous begonias do. This makes them a bit easier to care for, as they can be kept growing year-round with the right conditions. Can dragon wing begonias be grown indoors? While dragon wing begonias can be grown indoors, they require bright, indirect light and consistent moisture to thrive. I've successfully grown them as houseplants, but I make sure to place them near a window where they can receive plenty of natural light. Can dragon wing begonias be overwintered? Yes, dragon wing begonias can be overwintered, especially in regions with mild winters. While they are technically tender perennials and may not survive freezing temperatures, they can be brought indoors before the first frost hits. Before overwintering, I typically prune back the plants to remove any dead or leggy growth and then carefully dig them up, being mindful not to damage the roots. I replant them in containers with well-draining soil and place them in a bright, sunny spot indoors, such as near a window. Throughout the winter, I keep the soil lightly moist and occasionally fertilize them to support healthy growth. In spring, when the danger of frost has passed, I gradually acclimate them back to outdoor conditions by placing them in a sheltered spot before transplanting them back into the garden. Overwintering dragon wing begonias indoors helps ensure they survive to grace my garden with their beauty for another season. How to care for a dragon wing begonia? To care for my dragon wing begonias, I keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged and fertilize them regularly with a balanced fertilizer during the growing season. I also pinch back the stems to encourage bushier growth and deadhead spent blooms to promote continuous flowering. How to propagate dragon wing begonia? Propagating dragon wing begonias is relatively easy. I usually take stem cuttings from healthy plants and root them in a mixture of perlite and peat moss. Once rooted, I transplant them into pots or directly into the garden. How to prune dragon wing begonia? Pruning dragon wing begonias helps maintain their shape and encourages new growth. I typically prune them in early spring before the growing season begins, removing any dead or leggy stems and shaping the plant to my liking. Why are my dragon wing begonia leaves curling? If my dragon wing begonia leaves start curling, it's usually a sign of stress, either from overwatering, underwatering, or exposure to extreme temperatures. I adjust my watering routine and make sure the plant is situated in a more suitable location to help it recover. Are dragon wing begonias edible? While dragon wing begonias are not considered edible, they are not known to be toxic if accidentally ingested in small amounts. However, it's always best to err on the side of caution and keep them away from food preparation areas. Dragon wing versus angel wing begonia. I've been growing both dragon wing and angel wing begonias for a few years now, and they're both fantastic plants, but in different ways. The dragon wings are my go-to for non-stop color. Their glossy, deep green leaves are stunning on their own, but the real showstopper is the flowers. They bloom prolifically in these vibrant clusters of red, pink, or white. I have all three colors, and they create a cascade of color on my patio all summer long. The angel wings, on the other hand, are all about the foliage. Their leaves have these beautiful white speckles that remind me of a starry night sky, and they add a touch of elegance to any shady corner. They flower too, but not as abundantly as the dragon wings. But for me, the pattern leaves are the star of the show.